This morning, tensions escalating across the Middle East and the United States increasingly involved, responding after U.S. bases have come under attack from Iranian-backed forces.
In recent days, the Middle East has become a hotspot of tension as the United States responds to attacks on its bases by groups with ties to Iran. This comes at a time when the region is already grappling with the Israel-Hamas conflict, making the situation even more complex. The U.S. reaction involves airstrikes on Iranian-backed forces, signaling a strong stance against aggression. Meanwhile, the Israel-Hamas conflict, rooted in historical disputes, continues to fuel violence, adding to the challenges in the region. The implications of these events extend beyond individual incidents. With the U.S. actively involved and the Israel-Hamas conflict ongoing, the risk of a broader regional instability looms large. The intricate web of relationships and historical tensions in the Middle East makes finding a solution complex. As the world watches, the hope is for diplomatic efforts to prevail and prevent further escalation in this already volatile part of the globe. Background: since October 17th, there's been a worrisome rise in attacks on U.S. troop bases, with the Pentagon reporting a total of 41 incidents. These attacks are believed to be orchestrated by groups with ties to Iran, raising concerns about a bigger conflict in the region. This situation is made more complicated by the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, where deep-rooted tensions continue to spark violence. The attacks on American bases are troubling because they put the safety of U.S. military personnel at risk. The suspicion that Iranian-backed groups are behind these incidents adds another layer of complexity to an already tense situation. The Israel-Hamas conflict, with its long-standing history of disagreements, further adds to the challenges in the region. The fear now is that these events could contribute to a broader and more complicated conflict in the Middle East. The international community closely watches as diplomatic efforts are crucial to ease tensions and prevent the situation from escalating further. U.S. response: responding decisively to the attacks on its bases, the United States has taken a proactive approach. They conducted a second airstrike, this time targeting an Iranian weapons storage facility in Syria. This action sends a strong message that the U.S. is determined not to tolerate any aggression against its forces. The Pentagon, which oversees the military, emphasizes its efforts to stop the conflict from spreading, highlighting the crucial need for stability in the region. While specific details about casualties resulting from the Syria airstrike are still unclear, the U.S. is openly expressing its commitment to safeguarding its people and interests in the Middle East. The use of military force is aimed at discouraging further attacks and preserving a strategic balance in the region. The situation remains fluid, but the U.S. is actively working to assert its security and protect the interests of its personnel amid the escalating tensions. Israel-Hamas conflict. In conjunction with the unfolding events, the Israel-Hamas conflict adds a layer of complexity to the already dynamic situation in the Middle East. This conflict has deep roots in historical and territorial disputes, contributing to recurring cycles of violence that strain diplomatic efforts for a lasting resolution. Main issue: the heart of the issue lies in long-standing disagreements over land and historical events, which have fueled tension between Israel and Hamas, the militant group governing the Gaza Strip. These disputes often result in sporadic outbreaks of violence, making it challenging to establish a sustained and peaceful solution. The involvement of the United States in the region further complicates matters due to its strong alliance with Israel. The U.S. has historically been a key supporter of Israel, both politically and militarily. This alliance, while reflecting shared interests, raises concerns about potential ramifications on diplomatic relations, especially in the context of the broader regional tensions. The U.S.'s role in the Israel-Hamas conflict is delicate, balancing its commitment to its ally with the need for a comprehensive and just resolution in the region. The ongoing violence adds pressure on diplomatic channels, making it imperative for the international community to navigate these complexities carefully. Finding resolution. Efforts to find a lasting resolution to the Israel-Hamas conflict are critical for promoting stability in the Middle East. It requires not only addressing immediate concerns, but also tackling the underlying historical and territorial issues. As the situation evolves, international actors must engage in diplomatic initiatives that foster dialogue, understanding, and a commitment to lasting peace in the region. Yemen and the downed drone. In a significant incident off the coast of Yemen, tensions escalated when Iran-backed Houthi forces shot down a U.S. Reaper surveillance drone. This event adds a new layer to the already complex situation, expanding the scope of tensions and marking Yemen as another potential hotspot in the region. The downing of the drone not only represents a direct clash between U.S. and Iran-backed forces, but also raises questions about the extent of Iranian influence in the Middle East. Yemen, already facing internal conflicts, becomes a focal point as the involvement of Houthi forces with Iranian ties adds a geopolitical dimension to the crisis. The incident underscores the challenges the U.S. encounters in preserving its strategic interests in the region. The U.S. employs surveillance drones to gather critical information, and the loss of such a vehicle in this context is a serious development. It prompts a reassessment of the dynamic in the Middle East, particularly in Yemen, where regional powers vie for influence. The incident adds urgency to understanding the broader implications of Iranian-backed activities in different areas. Strategic interests. Maintaining strategic interests in the Middle East is a delicate balancing act for the United States. The region's geopolitical landscape is intricate, with ongoing conflicts and historical animosities. The downing of the drone highlights the complexities faced by the U.S. in navigating these challenges while safeguarding its interests. As international observers closely monitor these developments, there is a recognition that this incident could further complicate diplomatic efforts and escalate tensions. It emphasizes the importance of diplomatic solutions to prevent a wider conflict and underscores the need for careful consideration of the multiple factors at play in the Middle East's intricate geopolitical puzzle. Concerns and implications. As the situation in the Middle East unfolds, there's a growing worry that groups supported by Iran might intensify the conflict, pulling in multiple nations and creating a complicated web of geopolitical tensions. The region's intricate network of alliances and historical disputes makes it really tough to predict how events will unfold in the coming days and weeks. The concern is that the involvement of the Iranian-backed groups could extend the conflict beyond its current boundaries, involving neighboring countries, and making the situation even more challenging. The Middle East has a long history of intricate relationships and deep-rooted animosities, making it a complex puzzle to solve. The potential for a larger regional conflagration or widespread conflict is a significant threat not only to the countries directly involved, but also to global peace and stability. Potential for an increase of conflict. This potential for a broader conflict raises alarms globally. The world is interconnected, and instability in one part of the globe can have far-reaching consequences. The international community is closely watching, recognizing the need for swift and diplomatic interventions to prevent the situation from escalating further. Efforts to predict the trajectory of events face obstacles due to the multifaceted nature of the Middle East's geopolitical landscape. The hope is that diplomatic solutions can be found to address the root causes of tensions and prevent a wider conflict. The potential for a regional conflagration serves as a stark reminder of the importance of fostering cooperation, dialogue, and peaceful resolutions in a region where historical complexities often add layers of difficulty to resolving conflicts. The international community must remain vigilant and actively engage in diplomatic initiatives to safeguard both regional and global peace. The escalating tensions in the Middle East demand careful consideration and diplomatic finesse. The U.S. response to attacks on its bases, coupled with the Israel-Hamas conflict and the downing of a surveillance drone off the coast of Yemen, paints a complex picture of a region on the brink. The international community must navigate these challenges with a commitment to preventing further escalation and fostering stability in a region critical to global peace. As events continue to unfold, the world watches with bated breath, hoping for diplomatic solutions to prevail over the specter of widespread conflict.